You have a deck or something, right?
Hey, Kezia, let me know if you can see my screen as well. Just before we start, I think just to get a very rich view of your profiles, to look at the audience in a categorical way in which we can attend to you better at Emarticus. Probably we'll be just doing a quick poll. Yeah. So kindly respond to that so that Emarticus has a fair idea that what is the exact profile of the students and the audience and the professionals that are sitting here in with us today. Yeah. So let's basically just wrap it up in a minute before I can start the presentation on change management. Kezia, you can please go ahead and quickly just finish the poll. Yeah. Okay, Kezia. So just let me know, in the chat window that the movement poll is over, so I can start this up. Yeah. So guys, we're going to talk about change management today. Uh, it's a career which relates to multiple domains. Yeah. Whether you are from IT or from non-IT. Yep. So we're going to discuss the overall persona, or let me call it personality of this career, how good it is placed in today's, job market, what kind of enrichment it brings in you to do additional value add as a professional. Yeah. So let's discuss few of those things. And I understand that most of you are working professionals, and all of you probably, or in fact all of us today, are looking to add certain value in our in our CV, which the market can look at more favorably. Yeah. And that can give us better opportunities in today's very automated and digital area. Yeah. So we can probably discuss few things on that. I would like to clarify your queries on change management, a program which Emarticus has launched with SAP. So this is a program in which SAP is Emarticus technology partner, and they have helped us to design this curriculum as per what the market expects from today's professionals who want to become change managers. Yeah. Okay, I can share the full screen. That's fine. Okay, guys, I think we can start the. All right. So, hi, my name is Mukraj. I'm a vice president with Accenture India, and a visiting faculty to Emarticus sometimes. This is a program in which we have tied up with SAP together in order to bring the latest and the greatest from change management area. So first of all, we will see what are the various components of this change management program. Yeah. What is that today's industry demands from a change managers, and how a professional can step into change managers management as a career. Yep. So first of all, we will discuss what the industry expects. We will discuss what the market wants. We will discuss what are the potential opportunities which today's market is throwing up for different kinds of people like you, who can go ahead to learn the skill sets of change management and how you can change your career altogether from either a software development lifecycle analyst or a developer or a tester or a design architect or any kind of domain consultant that you might be. And when I say domains, I mean some of you might be in manufacturing domain, some of you might be in telecom, some of you may be playing a vital role in pharmaceuticals. Either way, all of these knowledge areas or careers which come from a specific domain, yeah, can be transferred towards a change manager. So it is not essential whether you are in IT. Even if you're a non-IT person, this career is very, very exciting, and it utilizes all the past experiences that you may have. Yeah. So I guess we will discuss some of the best 5 reasons why today's professionals are more and more opting for change management as a career, and how it is bringing them the right skills which today's market feels very relevant about. All right, so as the name suggests, change. Change is basically a structured approach which any organization would like to take when it is undergoing a large transformation. Let me take a quick example. Some of the clients that you may see around undergo large technology changes. Yeah, some of the clients today are undergoing large business changes, and the reason is very clear. Since the business has become very dynamic, competition is immense. Hence, any organization has to evolve itself in order to survive and prosper. And for that, they undergo changes. It is a reality of life, and it is happening all around us. That is the area where a change manager helps to make certain that the transition during that change for organization, its processes, its tools, its people is taken care of. Yeah. So if we do not monitor or track the change, it can cause a lot of discomfort within an organization. That is where most of the organization today would like to have a skill called change manager while they are undergoing large transformations. So guys, just in case, you can ask me questions anytime in the question chat window. I will check that after every 10 minutes. Yeah, just for about a few seconds break. I will read your questions and I will answer them. All right. What is the positioning of business? I'm sorry. First of all, I must tell you, the change management comprises of some components. Yeah. One of the components, which is like a knowledge area for change management, is called business analysis. The second area is called Agile or Scrum. The third area is related to project management. Now, you may ask me, why are these areas important to learn in order to become a change manager? So what is a change manager? The change manager principally acts between the client and the development teams in order to make sure that whatever the client wants to do as a business requirement is fulfilled in the transformation project. Yeah. Having said that, I think it becomes quite clear that the skill set which acts as a middleware between the client and our development teams typically is a business analyst. So shall I say that business analyst is the first step towards becoming a change manager? I may say yes, because in order to understand your business stakeholders, their business requirements, which you can possibly translate for the IT teams to develop that into maybe a functionality or a process change, I think you may need that skill. Because change management starts from the beginning of the project and goes till the end of the project, which means right from the beginning, when business brings its requirements, we need to understand that what requirements needs what kind of a business process change, what requirement needs what kind of a tool change, what requirement needs what kind of a technology change. So related to tools, processes, people, and technology, we have somebody called a business analyst who's sitting at that door where he or she can talk to business and then turn its face around and translate the requirements to the development teams. Yeah. So that is first skill set, which I say is important to become a change manager. Okay. Now, business analysts, what is their positioning in the industry? Business analysts perform different kind of roles at various levels. They could be directly reporting to the chief executive officer, They could be into a very client facing roles, obviously, because they have to understand the requirements from the client. They help the higher management in making key decisions. And the reason is because business analyst typically comes from a domain, and being a specialist in those process areas, it can provide that kind of assistant to senior management. Business analysts can be part of strategy teams because they are inherently involved to create strategies for their clients. And again, the reason is the same. Since they understand the technology landscape, business process landscape of the client, they understand their as is processes, they understand the tools, technologies being used as of today in the client's landscape. So eventually, their inputs are very key to frame a new design for the business process change or for a technology change, which will transform the client's landscape into something better. Yep. And business analysts are also part of the change management teams. Yep. So the reason that business analyst is sitting in all these five boxes is because of its inherent connect with the client. Right. So, so this being the first skill set to become a change manager. The second component of change management is called Agile and Scrum. I think a lot of you must have heard this because in today, when a requirement comes in and the development team starts to develop that change in the technology, which is could be in form of either a process change, it could be a functionality change, it could be changing the entire technology platform. Most of the software development today happens in an agile cycle. So it's a breakaway from the traditional ways of developing the application in a waterfall mode. Yeah. Now, becoming an agile coach or a scrum master is also an important integral component of becoming eventually a change manager. If you say that getting the business requirement was phase one in a project, then the phase two is software development lifecycle. And in that, your role today may be a developer, maybe a tester, maybe a functional specs writer, maybe a technical developer who's doing unit testing and writing technical specs. But the fact is, to go one step beyond, you need to become an agile coach. Now, the agile coach is the phase two very important role because an agile coach understands what kind of changes have to be done within IT to fulfill the business requirements of the client. An agile coach ensures that these changes are done in a fast way, in a faster way than traditional programming or coding and testing. And hence, we are able to expedite those changes very quickly. Yep. Now, so the purpose of becoming an agile coach is to understand the larger changes of the clients, to break them up into smaller components, and then helping the development team accomplish that within some very quick cycles of application development. Yeah. So agile change management is a more contemporary approach that helps the organizations to fine tune a fast changing environment from the client side. The second link between agile and change management is that the agile methodology ensures that the changes which are happening are right changes, they are planned, and they are meticulously executed in a very controlled way so that business likes the changes which eventually come into their either business process cycles or into their IT landscape. Okay, I think till now there is no question. So let me go forward. Guys, I am changing the slides. I hope you guys are able to see that. For example, right now, I'm on slide number 6. Hey, Kezia, Would you like to please show these slides while time I can talk? Is that okay?
Just a minute.
Yeah, Kezia, I think you can show the slides, maybe, and I can just give the audio support. Maybe I think maybe the students are not able to, or audience is not able to see the slides till now.
Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Yeah, that's okay. So guys, just hold on, please. We are just making an effort to make sure that you see the slides. Yeah. In the meanwhile, guys, till the time I can answer some of your questions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you are able to see the. Okay, so let me answer a few questions. So Kezia, we can go to slide 6 for now. Yep. Okay, I think somebody amongst you asked, explain about Agile once more. Yeah, yeah, just Kezia, stop here. Yeah, thank you. So guys, Agile is a quicker way of implementing a software. As you can see on the slide, this is going to be the likely role of anybody who's called an Agile coach. Typically, an integral component of change manager. Yep. So here you just become somebody who can accelerate the development cycle of the client very well. So typically it is very much appreciated by any IT company. See, I mean, I would like to clarify one thing, that a typical change management role is obviously the opportunities are much more with the large IT companies. And that's a role which is really look forward to. Not many people today in the market are change managers. Change manager is a specific role, and it is only it's only experienced when you undergo a certain learning cycle, a cycle which involves you to learn a business analysis. It enables you to learn the agile and the scrum cycles. It enables you to learn something on the project management as well. And typically, because this program that Ematicus has launched is with SAP, which is the undoubtedly the king maker of IT. So that's why this probably program has all the right things which probably a market today wants from a change manager. Yeah. Okay. I think somebody amongst you is asking that I'm a typical banking back office operational persons with a large experience. Yeah. So you would like to understand the fitment here better. Okay, that's a good question, guys. And not only for this gentleman, I think this is an answer which goes for all the people who are back-end office organizers, which means that somewhere in the front end, yeah, let's take an example of a banking or an insurance firm. So somewhere in the front, the transactions are concluded with the clients, and then all those things are sent to the back office in India so that those transactions could be completed. Yeah, certain times they send certain changes which they want, and here sitting out of the India shop, we accomplish those changes. Now imagine if you are a change manager, obviously you can attend to so many things from the front end which are coming towards you. One, they send certain changes, you can talk to them, you can discuss with them as a business analyst what those changes are, what kind of impact they create on business, how they can help to create a better and a more efficient system. That's where your business analyst skills will come useful. Second, those changes will have to be obviously developed somewhere in the technology shop of India. Remember, I'm talking all backend, right? So in the backend, currently you are a back office operator, which means you have fair amount of idea about what kind of processes come to conclude as a transaction in the back office, number one. Second, you are recipient of large amount of data, so you also have a fair idea that what kind of a data is involved into those business processes. And the third thing is that you typically conclude those transactions, monitor it, track it, send a certain reports back to them, and that's probably what your job is. This fitment is possible because today you're sitting in a back office where you have information and understanding about the processes. You have information understanding about the data and the transactions which eventually conclude to give the organization their best perspective. But the fact is you are just missing on the role which you can have in case you are able to learn up to this value chain, which means Learning the skill set to become a business analyst can take you closer to become a change manager. Learning the skill set to how to operate as an agile coach for the entire development team, guide them so that they can do the developments in a faster mode, delivered better and faster. And imagine all these things are done pretty much in the back office of India. So you might be still in back office, but of course, your role will change because you would have brought a certain clear value to the organization. So I understand that a lot of you must be probably today, in operations, but honestly, that could turn fairly monotonous after a period of time. Now, you want to shift into a new career, but you want to leverage on what you've been doing till now. That's where I would like to welcome you to change management, where this career or where you will learn the skills of business analysis and other components will be very, very useful, which will pluck you out of your current operational role. That is how, guys, all these value items help to carry forward your career into something better. Okay, somebody amongst you is asking that I am a business analyst already working on agile methodology. What does it take to become a change manager? Fantastic. So at least you have done the step one, which means you are a BA already. Now, being a BA, amongst all of you who probably might be BAs here sitting, I would like to clarify that being a BA means that you have a firm control on the client, you have a firm control on their business prospects, you have a firm control on what is the need and why. But probably that's only phase one. The phase two, where the functionality is actually developed, where you can help the team to develop the right functionality closely mapped to the business requirement. That is something which you can do now after learning how to be an agile coach. Agile and Scrum are today the latest and the greatest in application development. In any case, guys, even if you are a BA, you need to now step more. You need to take a larger step towards the actual process where you can actually step into the development of the software or the functionality or where the entire functionalities is tested. You may not be doing that job yourself. There will be a development team. But the fact is that since you have heard from the business what is the closest to their heart from a business requirement, being an agile coach, you can help to implement that also as well. Imagine the brilliant output which will come out because you would have guided the requirements very carefully as a BA. And now as an agile coach, you have guided and monitored and tracked and made sure that the requirements are developed also in the most appropriate way in an IT system. Yep. So that's, guys, where you add tremendous value to your role as a BA. And then and when you are a BA already, you are learning how to become an agile coach. And subsequently, the third component is project management. I think the three things coming together obviously take you very close to being a change manager. Yep. So guys, I'll take a little break from here. I'll go back into the slide mode, please. Yep. Okay. All right. So what you see here, guys, is the role of an agile scrum. Now, if you look at an agile analyst role, it starts from managing the planning process, managing the entire schedule of the program. A program in which we are doing requirement analysis, we are doing development, we are doing testing, we are doing deployment, etc., etc. Yep. So in the same way, if you see that an agile coach is a mentor, it's a guide, it's a leadership kind of a role where you provide to the people the right planning, where you provide the right project reporting, where you do the right risk assessment and mitigations, right? And if you can understand what I'm saying, guys, these are the roles which are very, very much wanted by any IT companies today. So if you think that being in IT makes good sense, then I would prefer that you are in IT more as a change manager rather than just as a developer or a tester or a coder, etc. Yep. Kezia, we can go to the next slide, please. All right. So what does this career entail? The career of a change manager is obviously promising, as I think you would have probably at least got a fair idea on that. It helps you to build new skills which are timeless. A programming can be automated. Testing is already tremendously automated. That's why you see that we don't really need manual testing anymore. Yeah, because we have automated that sufficiently well. The next stop where we're going to do a lot of automation is programming. So these are those skills which will slowly have started becoming more commodity skills. You need to step into something which is timeless, where automation and things can't really touch the skills that you have. And that's where, the shop of change manager opens. It's a promising career because it helps you to gain leadership skills. Business analyst is a leader. Agile coach is a leader, right? Because it helps you to become a specialist. No longer you are doing something which probably hundreds and thousands of people around you are doing already. It helps you to step into something which is special, and it helps you to continuously improve yourself. And ask me how. As a business analyst, you get exposed to multiple different projects in different domains. So what happens is you start learning the business process setup, the way stakeholders operate in different businesses. That helps to gather a tremendous amount of learning about people and processes. That's important. When you become an agile coach as well as a change manager, you learn what is the faster, bigger, better, and more optimum way of doing software development. It's a large area, trust me. And if you're getting a chance to step into that room where you can see all kind of different developments and testings and various iterative cycles going on in a very agile way, I think that's a value chain which is going to last at least for next 1 or 2 decades. Yep. So in case, guys, if you see the last vertical row here, horizontal row here, it says if you're doing the same thing every day, if you're doing something which is likely going to be redundant and replaceable very soon, if you think that you do something which doesn't really make a large impact in your organization on your daily, weekly, and monthly cycle, yeah, if you think that you're rather working absolutely in isolation, I would like you to please consider, a career of change management for which you don't have to be somebody very different. This career leverages on your current learning, whatever they are, whichever role they have been, and helps you to spruce up and step into the next step of the ladder. Yeah. Kezia, we can change the slide, please. Okay. So guys, I would like to show you one of the most important slides of today's discussion, and I think we would like to spend about a few minutes on here. Yeah. So look at this. This is what I wanted to show you today was change management value chain. All right, just give me a minute here. Okay, if you see, guys, this is like a V model, Here, the client is sitting somewhere here, and that's where you are sitting as well as a business analyst. You bring in the right requirements, which goes into a development team, which do either a business process design, write a functional specification, tech specs are written, coding is done, and subsequently the testing starts. Yeah. So there are two very important roles here. One, the business analyst, which controls the opening door of this shop. Yeah. And then there is an agile coach or a scrum master, which is controlling almost the rest of the cycle. Yeah. Because an agile coach is somebody who guides the development team right from business process design till the end of testing. Yeah. So as an agile coach, you are champion of all these steps. As a business analyst, you are champion of the first and the most important steps called gathering requirements from business. The two things put together make you very strong, and in control for any kind of a software development life cycle, the one which you are seeing here. Yeah. And this is where, on a very categorical and detailed note, I would like to say that this career is something which is encompassing the entire value chain of an IT development, right? So obviously people who are currently based out of, a typical IT shop, who are part of a software development life cycle, or who belong to any such domain, for example, like a back-end operations analyst who's sitting in maybe in a bank, yeah, or probably somebody who's in, let's say, in the sales area of telecom, somebody who does pharmaceutical selling. Yep. All of those are eventually coming from a domain with a process knowledge and process centricity. The same thing is used for First, to quickly convert you into a business analyst, with which you enter the IT cycle. And then with the other skill set that you have of an agile coach, you almost start gaining prominence into the entire IT setup. That is where it breaks the whole thing and brings you into a absolutely newly shaped careers. Kezia, we can go to the next slide. All right, so what does my good friend as a change manager do? So change management guys, the change management analysts basically tend to specialize in the same kind of work in which they are already working in. For example, the IT guys amongst you are likely to be hired by IT firms. Yep. The banking guy amongst you are likely to be hired by IT firms which have banking and insurance clients. So why IT is a large umbrella shop? Because it has all the clients from various domains into itself. Any typically big IT company today has pharmaceutical clients, telecom clients, manufacturing clients, banking clients, investment banking clients, and so on and on. That is where your twin knowledge comes in very useful. One, your business knowledge. So today, if you are a telecom sales guy, you have fair amount of idea on all the processes within telecom domain. And that's exactly what is the basic building block of a business analyst. All of you who are sitting in IT cycle itself are actually more closer to become change managers. So everybody has its own advantages on which it can be, he or she can leverage to learn the next steps and get into change management. So you can be an agile coach, scrum master, development manager, product owner, program manager, project lead, business analyst, whatever you might like to become, you might like to want to become based on your current work experience, right? So this is a large shop which opens up multiple windows of opportunities for you. Yeah. Okay, at this moment I would probably just go back into questions again. All right, guys. So, okay, any questions here? Later sec. Okay, so Trina, I believe that you posted here. So maybe let me take some names. It's good that you guys get a direct answer. So guys, Trina is from manufacturing organization who is involved into business transformation operations. So for all such people who are already involved into business transformation are at the stepping stones of becoming change managers. But of course, you need to know the specific skill sets and methodologies like business analysis, agile, development, operations methodologies, etc., because before you can become like confident enough to exercise those learnings into the new area as well. So that way, obviously, Trina, this makes a lot of sense for you to gain that and this kind of a knowledge area. And why don't you become a formal change manager? Yeah, so that's the idea. Okay. Nitin has a question. He says, you said change manager bridges the gap between client and development teams. I understand that a product manager who has domain knowledge is nothing but a change management in product development company. And change manager is a term that we use for services-based industries. Yes, that's absolutely bullseye, Nitin. Thank you very much for articulating it this way. So a product manager is somebody who, yes, has a domain knowledge and somebody who has a technology perspective as well, somebody who can guide and lead the people, somebody who can front end with the client. And that's all what we dropped into a common kitty called change manager. Yep. Okay. Swapnil has a question. He says, how can change management be applicable in supply chain processes? Okay. So Swapnil, a very, very good questions, because I think this answer will help a lot of people sitting here. So guys, all of you who are into supply chain, which means procurement, purchasing, sales, customer service, etc., all of you are coming from a very, very strong domain called supply chain management. And to be honest, supply chain management, information, knowledge, process centricity is very, very important for any kind of an IT setup, because they have tremendous amount of clients who are FMCG clients, consumer durables clients, etc., but who need people who have worked in business. For example, you might be a purchasing officer, you might be a sales leader, you might be a customer service representative. You have a certain understanding of that domain, which a typical change management career, what they do is that it typically brings in a little more of business and IT perspective and builds on top of your knowledge. What happens is that combined package helps you to go into the career of a change manager. So being a supply chain manager is of immense value because that's very closely related to a very strong stepping stone as a business analyst. So once you are a business analyst, because when you do the change management course, you learn business analysis, you learn agile and scrum, you learn project management. So multiple of things which eventually shape up your career, and why it will choose you and no one else, because you are from supply chain. Tomorrow when you'll be deployed to the clients, likely a lot of clients are going to be on supply chain management. They would need somebody like Swapnil who can talk to them in supply chain language, who has been from the same domain, who has been experiencing the same processes, who knows the dynamics of supply chain management or mismanagement. That's where Swapnil, people like you who gain these additional skills typically tend to become very successful change managers. Okay, Shaminullah writes to me saying that I've been working as an incident manager for about 3 years. Will this help me, or I need to start to scratch from become a change manager? No, Shamin, you don't have to start from scratch. You're already part of an ITIL cycle called incident management. So typically in IT setup, when you support a client, you can be an incident manager, you can be a change manager, you can be a deployment manager, right? Or you can be a business analyst. Typically it is not a start from scratch because you already are part of the support application maintenance landscape. This means you are fairly into the IT part anyways. First of all, this career will teach you how to quickly become get to the next step, which is an agile coach. From there, the learnings of this course will take you towards business and lock you with the business as a business analyst. So your starting stones here are your credentials of incident manager, and then quickly you gain the rest too on top of it. That is what makes you comprehensively someone who has a full 180 degrees view of the entire change management cycle. Yeah, so it's not a start from scratch. So Vijay, I think I answered that. Business analyst plays a significantly important role between client and the management of stakeholders, etc. So needless to say, that's a very significant important skills. Okay, what else? Okay, so Nitin is asking a question that being a technical writer, change management as a career seems interesting to you, all right? And no, Nitin, as I explained, you don't start from ground zero. What do you think you've been doing in 14 years? Of course, as being a technical writer, you have a full span of understandings about the content development, documentation development, which eventually has also taught you to attend to the receivers of those content and those documentations. Understanding their profiles is nothing short of actually some kind of a stakeholder management. But the fact is, till now you're sitting in content management shoes. Now you're going to be start to learn to wear the shoes of an agile coach in order to care for the software development. Plus, you will learn to wear the shoes of a business analyst to care for the client directly. And then what you've been doing in the last decade, it comes in very useful because that has anyway given you exposure to a similar skill sets. Okay, let's go back to guys the slide now. Okay, Kezia, if you can change the slide, please. All right, guys, let's spend a few minutes on what are the top 5 reasons you should choose change management as a career. Yep. Kezia, we can change the slide. First and foremost, variety. The amazing amount of change in an organization which is happening today means, guys, that there's a very, very wide window of opportunity to get involved into the change management area. As a change manager, you can support large-scale IT transformation projects, right? And you can participate in building up the global template of design because you are the one who's taking the requirements from the client. You are the one who will be responsible eventually to make sure that the development team is able to freeze the global templates, and then subsequently the implementation happens. Subsequently, you are going to be the one who's again going to lead the same designs into more customizations with different stakeholders in the same organization. So caring for a large transformation project, rolling it out into different subsidiaries is a lot of work which a change managers normally do very effectively. So guys, obviously, as I said earlier, change management is a unique skill, and it is always sought in the market, right? One reason to become change manager. Kezia, can you change, please? All right, delivery. A change manager is able to work, as I said, also in the operations, right? So as a business analyst, don't forget you're working in strategy, you're working in supporting the business to take better decisions. Yep. Now, change manager is somebody who, as I explained on the earlier slide, which was like a V model, he or she is end to end. You are involved in handling clients and stakeholders, you are handling in solicitations of requirement, you're involved in handing those requirements to development teams. You're involved as an agile coach to make sure that those requirements are developed well, they are tested well, and they are something which the business really needs. So eventually, when you care for the project end to end, that is something what I called change manager involved in shaping the value chain top to bottom. Yeah. Okay, so that's about delivering the project. Okay, yeah, next. Continuous development. I told you that this is not a commodity skill, guys. This is a skill which typically is a creative skill. There is an art here, there's a science here. Since you have a combination of both, you are not replaceable by any technology advancement which eventually goes into automations. We can't automate the role of a business analyst. We can't automate the role of an agile coach, at least certainly not in 10 years. That is where there's a continuous learning because you're exposed to either a different technology because projects bring different technology. You are exposed to different changes, regulatory, non-regulatory. You learn a wide area of informations. Yep. There is hard skill in this because there's a science in this, because in this role you need to know certain methodologies. There's a soft skill in this because you need to be a great communicator. You need to handle people as a agile coach, as a business analyst. Yep. So there's a hard skill, there's a soft skills. All put together, what you learn here makes you a good professional indeed. Here's your next. Well, I don't have to explain this, guys. As a business analyst, you are a leader. As an agile coach, you are a leader. So you need to demonstrate those leadership capabilities. Well, when you enter a typical learning, course of a change manager, you learn all this there. You learn how to demonstrate leadership capabilities. You learn how various businesses react in different ways. So when you are the only guy sitting in front of them as a business analyst, how do you need to handle them? How do you need to handle their business and technology aspirations of the client? Yeah. So this course teaches you multiple things which something which you use in your everyday life as a change manager. Okay, the next. Okay, so today as a change manager, you might be sitting with a telecom client. Tomorrow you might be sitting with a pharmaceutical client. Day after you might be sitting with the financial client. Yeah. All these exposures will give you unusual clarity on how the three different businesses operate and how multiple functions within each business are linked to each other. So imagine maybe 5 years from now, when you are an experienced change manager, you would already know how a telecom client operates, what are the nuances or weaknesses of a pharmaceutical client, how the business process needs to be changed very quickly for a chemical client, for a mining client, for example. So you have that in-depth knowledge, which is very useful for any business. Hence, the skill is obviously very niche. Here's your next. There's a growing demand, guys. I will not go into too much of statistics because I'm more interested to answer your questions. So I'll probably just go through certain slides where you see that how so many, so many financial institutions, so many of IT companies, so many of product companies are all basically looking forward to have certified change managers. Yeah, from from wherever you graduate from. So Typically, Marticus offers a certification course, under the blessings of SAP. So that's where, probably I think this becomes a little attractive proposition. But in any case, we are just discussing how a change manager, gains value for itself. Okay. So Kozia, let's go to the next one. Okay, career path, guys. Product analyst going up to senior product analyst, going to senior project analyst, leading to project manager, leading to agile coach, leading to etc. etc. Just some indicative salaries here, but I guess maybe I think that's some information which you probably already have. But yes, depending on your years of experience till now, plus the certification which you will do as a change manager, the two things together will decide what is going to be your next compensation in the market. Yeah. Kezia, next. Sorry. So guys, some of you, I believe today, are quite experienced people. Yeah. So I'm not typically talking about people who are 12, 15 years experience, because obviously, the indicative salaries for them are very different because they have a very large experience. But typically, let's say if today you have been working for 3, 4 years, and through this change management pipeline, you end up becoming a business analyst or a project analyst, or subsequently a change management analyst or an agile coach, the various skills depending on your experiences till now. And when I say experiences, I don't say experience as a change manager, I mean experiences as what you are doing today. Like somebody of you said, hey, I'm a back-end operator in a banking sector. Somebody of you said, hey, I'm a content writer. Somebody said, hey, I'm part of IT. So depending on those kind of experiences from any domain, yep, you gain value in terms of role, you gain value in terms of career, you gain value in terms of compensation. Yep. Okay, next. Okay, so guys, maybe I would like to step you into some of the slides which are typically that what kind of change management pro degree is being offered by Imarticus. So one thing is that it's having SAP as its educational technology partner. Yeah. So jointly with SAP, Imarticus has designed something called Change Management Pro Degree. So this pro degree gives you comprehensive coverage. It's a 4 months course, actually. It's a weekend course. It helps you in terms of learning about business analysis, agile scrum, project management, SAP, and helps you to go through a cycle of getting ready for such job readiness. It's an experiential learning curve, which means that the course content as such has tremendous amounts of case studies, etc., which are very, very simulated as well, so that they give you a very in-depth knowledge about your role, which is tomorrow's role as an agile coach or as a business analyst, eventually as a change manager. Of course, the change management pro degree is certified, so you get a firm certification here from SAP, and that's something which also gives you an opportunity to step into additional external certifications if required. Okay, Kezia, let's go next. So guys, the large chunk of this course is about business analysis, about 40%. Another 30% is about agile scrum. 15 to 16% is about project management. You learn SAP. But when I say SAP, I'm not talking about the SAP as a software or SAP in terms of programming. You learn the complete ERP of SAP in terms of business processes. You learn that in terms of entire perspective, from a procurement cycle, from a sales cycle, from a finance cycle, from a business intelligence cycle, etc. So mind you, this gives you a tremendous advantage of getting into IT, because today 80% of the IT clients are largely on SAP. So provided that this course enables you with a firm viewpoint, a 360-degree views about how SAP as an ERP operates. That's number one. And second, of course, that how do you become a business analyst, followed by agile, scrum, and project management. Yeah. All right. Let's go next. So guys, this is a typical curriculum which is offered as a business analyst. These are multiple different things. And of course, this course are aligned with IIBA, because Imarticus is an accredited partner with IIBA as well. Yeah. So this is the detail of business analysis. Go next. And these are the detailed course curriculum which you get to learn while in the agile and scrum thing, about transformation approach, agile metrics, agile contracting, agile overview, agile change management strategies, etc. Please go next. This is the slide which tells you about the entire curriculum which you're going to learn as a project management professional as well, because this is the third component of change management. Yeah, so all about project time management, cost management, etc. And also, as I said, that you get introduced in detail to the ERP of SAP. You learn about their ERP, you learn about their business process overviews, you learn about their various contemporary transformation techniques, you learn about business process monitorings. Yep, that's the four components from SAP. And then, of course, Ematicus trains you into job readiness in terms of your interview preparations, in terms of your domain upskilling, in terms of your CV upskillings, etc., etc. Yep. So, guys, the training is that there's conceptual learning, which means that out of 160 hours, you get 40 hours of pure videos. And mind you, a lot of these videos are developed by SAP itself. So you get videos from SAP, you get videos from Ematicus. Put together, they give you a very comprehensive viewpoint about all the high-end processes from business analysis perspective, agile coach perspective, project management perspective, and SAP. And then you enter into detailed sessions, which are either classroom sessions or online sessions, where you learn from from a senior faculty about the entire curriculum that we just saw in the previous slides. Yeah, so there are guest lectures, there are discussions on real-time case studies, you are given projects to implement, and then there's an expert faculty which traces you, tracks you, monitors you, and trains you how to do those projects as a business analyst, how to do those projects as an agile coach, and how to do those projects as a project manager as well. So that beyond conceptual learning, your practical learning also is very, very high, something which is a tremendous advantage when you're getting ready for the change management career. All right, so there's a long list of projects as well which you do while the course is on, but I think I would like to get into the questions now. Yeah. This minute, sorry, questions. Yeah. Okay, so let me get into your question now. Okay, so I think Purva is asking how change management can help in healthcare industry. So Purva, typically you learn three different roles. So when you say healthcare industry, I believe that you are involved in healthcare industry as in a certain position, in a certain role. The point here is that what does the next future steps entail? The next future steps entail that if you have been in the domain of healthcare, today probably it's better to put that domain knowledge into something which is more front-ending role. And that is where the role of a change manager comes in, because within that, you can assume the role of a business analyst, you can assume the role of an agile coach or a project manager, etc. That is where any domain knowledge is very, very welcome here. Yeah, and I mentioned telecom, healthcare, manufacturing, finance, everything is something which gets fitted into this role very well. Okay, one brilliant question has come from Sasidhar, that as a role of a change manager, yeah, how much of a technology part is to be understood? Okay, so thanks for asking that, Shashi. It's a very important question because it helps me to resolve a query which is probably in the minds of many people. So guys, one thing, you don't have to know a lot of in-depth knowledge about technology, but yes, an overview about technology could be very, very handy, because as an agile coach, yes, you definitely come very close to technology as such, but typically as a prominent role of a business analyst within change management, you typically are more focused on business, you're more focused on domain, you're more focused on business process. So what happens is that while this change management course is on, during those 4 months, Ematicus helps you to gain better understanding of various technology platforms, whether they are cloud-based, they are on-premise, they relate to business intelligence, they relate to data sciences, they relate to um, uh, ERPs, they relate to analytics, etc. So all those components are given, described, detailed out at an overview level, and I think that is sufficient for a change manager eventually. The second question, Shashi, is that keeping in mind that today it's a day and age of artificial intelligence and robotics, etc. So how does that requirement help? So eventually, Shashi, I would say that that is something which is a little more next steps, yeah, because when you are working as a change manager, of course, you may end up taking care of the clients which are undergoing large transformation because of AI or tremendous amount of automations. But the fact is, at the ground level, when you roll up your sleeves, what is your role which will help the client? The role is again that of a change manager, either because you're helping them in terms of business requirements, because robotics or AI is the answer. But first, as a business analyst, you gather the right question from the business that, guys, what do you want to change and why? And if the solution to that is AI, that's fine. You can bring the AI solution to them for which there's a big senior development team waiting to help you. So your role will be more to front end the client. Of course, the development team is there to back you up, to give you the right inputs in terms of AI, automation, robotics, anything. Yeah. So let's say some part of the client's business process are very repetitive. You say, hey, we need to automate that, right? So for example, RPA, robotic process automation, is the answer. So there is going to be a capability team in development, which is going to help you with, those kind of solution sets. So you don't have to probably get into RPA by yourself, but yes, you should be capable enough to tell, describe, and detail the client that why RPA is the solution to your business problems. That is where all these overviews come in very handy. Okay, so Medha, and I think somebody else has asked this question. So guys, change management is a course which has been just launched by Marticus in joint conjunction with SAP. Yeah, but I must tell you, prior to this, Marticus has been running various courses on business analysis, and I think they ran it almost for about 2.5 years, right? And that was in joint conjunction with IIBA, a certified course. And today the same course has migrated into the change management course. So this course is, pretty much certified. It's with the partners like IIBA and SAP. This is the launch of this thing. And why did this happen? Because for 2.5, 3 years, while they ran the business analysis course quite successfully with very good placements as well, I must tell you that the changing market conditions forced them to think that should we give a bigger, better, and a larger value to our audience. Yep. And that is where the tie-up with SAP happened, and that's where they opened larger windows that maybe just a business analyst may not be enough. You need to take the next step as an agile coach. You need to take the next step as a project manager. You need to take the next step to learn all about maybe SAP as an ERP, because that's the most prominent ERP. Does this give that better value just as compared to a business analyst? Yes, of course. That is where all the 3-4 different things came together to form this course called SAP Change Management. Yeah. Okay, so Abu is asking how Scrum and Agile is different from Six Sigma tools. So Abu, Six Sigma tools are more purely from a quality aspects, right? I mean, you want to do Six Sigma because you want to do 99.999%, close to your quality perspectives. Whereas Agile is not just a quality tool, it is actually a tool and a methodology or a process or a way of doing entire application or software development. And you know that in software development, there are specifications written. Based on the specification, there's coding done. Based on the coding, there's testing done, which is a very large cycle of long testings in terms of unit testing, system testings, business process testings, integration testings, regression testings, and so on and on. So Agile takes care of all these components at a ground level. So whereas Six Sigma is more purely qualitative, I would say Agile Scrum is very, very quantitative and qualitative both. Yeah, so Alan, once when you are through this course, it's logical that today, maybe Alan may not know these skills, but tomorrow post this course, you are able to at least gain a firm tactical advantage of knowing how to be a business analyst. So maybe being a fresher, you may not immediately become a change manager because change management needs a certain experiential curve. But yes, you can start off as a business analyst with any IT firm, and then the window after window keeps on opening, because being a business analyst, you are more on the requirement with business. Slowly you start stepping into the software development cycle as well. Slowly you get to understand more and more roles, and you gain them because you already have a background which you're going to be learning as an agile coach. So typically it does open opportunity window for people like you in an IT firms to begin with. Okay, so Mayank, okay, Mayank is not there. So Sejal, I think we described the course content comprises of business analysis, application development as a agile coach, project management, and SAP. For all the people who are there for a BPO or a KPO perspective, you remember the example which I took of, I think Swapnil, who's a back-end finance, or sorry, a banking back-end operations person. The same logic applies to all of you who is going to, set up, who wants to get into a change management career. So I think Vijay, for example, for you, your current role of operations in a non-IT, again, it's not from scratch. Okay, because being in a non-IT operations, those operations relate to certain business process setup. That becomes your domain expertise. So it's not a start from scratch, because as a business analyst, half things what you need is a domain expertise, and the rest half is how to learn the process, the area, and the methodology of becoming a business analyst. That is something which you will learn from here, and that's where you don't start from scratch. Yes, of course, Trina. This is pretty much applicable for commerce, accountants, anybody who has a fundamental domain knowledge for doing operations in finance, insurance, anything. So that way, it just gets aligned. Okay, good. So I think, guys, sorry, I can't really answer all the questions. But I think, for example, Jawahar, a difference between ERP and SAP, and there's nothing. SAP is the best known ERP. So for example, Oracle offers a ERP, SAP offers an ERP. Yeah, this one is tied up with SAP. So essentially it's enterprise resource planning. So I think, who's this from Calcutta? Vivekanand. Yeah. So Vivekanand, when you say in most of the SAP, there are things which are mostly implementable on a functionality things, right? So here, when I explain the role of an agile coach, that is something which will get plugged onto you, because with an SAP client, you will have to be responsible to make sure that the application or the functionalities is developed well by your development team. But before that, you will be again be responsible to make sure that the requirements from the business are taken, whether they are from procurement area, whether they are from sales screens, on a user interface of a user, whether it is from a functionality which is going to run into the finance areas and then consolidate the reconciliation faster. So either way, you will get the requirements from business, that you will do well because you are a BA. The development part you will do well because you learned agile coach roles and all that methodologies as well. So that way, the course becomes very comprehensive. Okay, I think, guys, Casey, I think let's go ahead. Let's show them a last screen here, please, which is the certification screen. Yeah, thank you. So guys, this is what is your, typically, besides that you learn and gain pretty much from this whole thing in 4 months. This is the certificate of completion, which is certified by SAP, which is, certifying you for business analyst, which is certifying you for an agile coach, which is certifying you for as a project manager. Yep. So this is something which is one of the outputs, of course, besides the confidence which you will carry with yourself, because now you're very, very relevant to a changing market condition as of today. Yep. So that's the whole story behind that, guys. I hope you enjoyed that session. I think, Kezia, you may like to take a very, very quick poll. So I think, guys, if you can please stick around another 1 minute, because we have a certain small feedback session, please. I mean, it just probably will take less than a minute, but we will gather a lot of important information about did you really like it up, how we can make it better. And of course, Ematicus, if you show interest, Ematicus can reach out to you individually to get to understand your profile better and give you a certain clear career mentoring and guidance about how you can become a better change manager, or probably a change manager by itself. Okay, so Kezia, you can administer the poll, please. And guys, I think we will stay in touch with you, and I think we'll be doing some more webinars along the way till the time you are able to get a fair understanding about it, and then we can probably get to know you better before we can probably help out in terms of, in case you want to change your careers from what you are enjoying today. Yeah. So Kezia, if you can just go ahead with the poll, please. And I think, guys, I would like to bid goodbye to you. Very nice being you, and very, very provocative questions. I see a diverse amount of people from very diverse fields. I'm glad that this could be of any help or information usefulness to you. Look forward to talk to you again soon. Goodbye for now. Cheers.
Thank you for joining in, guys. If you would just reply to the last poll that we have, which was on how interesting was this webinar. Guys, for joining in for this webinar. We'll see you again in the next upcoming webinars to come, and have a great day ahead.